Hello everybody and welcome back to the Sunward Isles. Ba-da-dum-ba-da-dum-bum-bum. Alrighty, in this episode, I believe we have a little bit of catch-up and a lot of bit of progress that we need to make. And I know exactly, sort of, how we are going to do it. So, a lot of this episode, I think I'm just going to be, quote, speed running through a bunch of leveling process. I know you guys are probably sick of the whole leveling thing by now, so if you're wondering why this episode took so long to come out, well, it's because I dedicated a lot of time to farming and figured you guys didn't want to see all of it. So basically what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to show teams at the start, and then if something like really cool happens, I'll show that, or if somebody dies, I'll also show that. And I think that's how we are going to just absolutely maximize the leveling process, because I'm sure you guys are getting a little bit tired of most videos having to do with just a lot of editing, grinding, not editing, a lot of farming, grinding, leveling up, all that sort of stuff. So I think we're just going to streamline it a little bit. My goal is to get everybody to level 4 or above. That is my goal for this episode. So hopefully we can get quite a few people to level 4 and above. Plus, maybe we'll get some of the characters that we've lost over time. And hopefully nobody's dead. We're able to upgrade the town. It's gonna be a good episode. Not to mention some people need to be renamed because they died, but I think the main things we need to upgrade. We need to finish the guild. The blacksmith is also something we need to finish. It's not technically a priority, but we do need to do it at some point. I'd say the camp has a little bit more benefit if we actually were to finish it. For example, I'm really curious what these outsider events are. The one that takes 4 freaking blueprints. And then, of course, just reducing our camping skill is always useful. The tavern, I think we need to level up the tavern. This seems to be where a majority of the stress healing is done. The abbey, of course, is just something that is super useful. So there's a lot we still need to upgrade. So maybe you can kind of understand why I'm just going to make this episode like a really quick but long episode where we're just boom, 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 progress, progress, progress. You know what I mean? Might even be a voiceover episode based on how I do it. I don't know. I was debating getting this Reaper's Hourglass. I mean, plus 3 speed, 8 dodge, 5% crit. That's not terrible. It is a pretty good amount of just stats. However, we do need to be above 75% health, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but if you're behind in a fight, this trinket's not going to help you very much. We could also technically do the graveyard and get another Necromancer revive, hopefully getting one of our high-level characters. That could be pretty cool. The Minions Expedition will also streamline the grinding process just a little bit. So there's quite a bit we can do. But I believe what we're going to begin doing, we're probably going to try and avoid the storm. Because at the moment, he actually doesn't give us anything. So maybe we'll go for a thing from the stars if we're feeling confident and we bring out a good team. But for the most part, I'm just going to take it easy, go for farming, and just keep ourselves actually safe so that we can make some good progress in this episode rather than mediocre progress. So, we begin our adventure in the Warrens where we bring Omar, Calypso, Kura, and Minnie. And right off the bat, like, genuinely, the first thing we encounter is multiple hallways with multiple battles. None of them had anything special, though. It was just kind of funny to see that there was just so many battles straight away. I think one of them was the spiders, but other than that, the dungeon was going pretty smoothly. Nothing to really complain about other than, not having enough inventory slots to hold all of our stuff. Though, while exploring, we came across the Chains, which is a boss I don't think has actually been in a series of mine yet, other than maybe one. I do want to warn you, in case you don't like nudity and stuff, this boss does have a little bit of nudity. There's a little bit of, beat up looks to it. So if you don't like that sort of stuff, you should probably look away now. Although this is Darkest Dungeon, so it's probably nothing new. But I just thought I'd warn you. You never know, just in case. Alright, here we go. This is the Chains. It's the Fawn boss, which is unique to the Warrens, and is also only spawnable inside of hallways. It was a long time ago, but I actually recorded a video going super in detail about this boss, and I was going to make an entire guide about it, but I never did. I don't know why I never did, but maybe I should, especially after seeing it again and going through this fight. It's kind of brought up that spark of creativity again. I think I'll just do like a really serious breakdown, like in-depth guide for the boss. So, who knows? Maybe I'll do that here in the future. But for the moment, I'm just going to give a really quick rundown. First things first. There are 3 fawnlings that are spawned from the Mama Fawn. The first one is a bleeder, the second one is a debuffer, and the third one is a stunner. So the stunner is the one that kicks you. You absolutely want to go for them first because they have an insanely high stun chance, and chances are they're going to cause you a lot of problem. You also have probably noticed that every single time one of the fawns lands a hit, they give a stacking, quote-quote, permanent accuracy buff to every other fawn, other than themselves. That stacks up really quickly. But, despite what you might be thinking, this fight isn't one that you can do quickly. You actually need to take your time for this fight, and it's kind of a mix. You have to be quick to kill the fawnlings, but the fight itself, you need to consider it as a run, not a sprint. You know what I mean? Every time you kill one of the fawnlings, Mama Fawn will spend one of her turns reviving a new fawnling. It can be any of the 3. And every time she revives one of the fawnlings, she gets a nasty, like, 35 turn debuff of increasingly high damage taken to herself. So, you may have noticed how high her health pool is. That's because you're not supposed to go only for her. You're supposed to go for the fawnlings, have her revive them, she gets weaker, 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 and then you just keep going, for her. Now that being said, some of your best tools in this fight are going to be riposts, as usual, but also dots on Mama Fawn are going to be very, very helpful. Now, unfortunately, we do end up losing Kura, thanks to the fawnlings getting extremely tunnel-visioned onto him. And, combined with me not taking my own advice of going for the stunners, we run into a very big, just rough patch. Now, we do manage to get through it more or less fine after that, though, and we get one of the guaranteed fawnling trinkets and the Milk of Kindness, which you always get from beating the Fawn boss. Now, you cannot fight the Fawn boss multiple times in a dungeon and get multiple trinkets. You only get 1 trinket per Warren's trip per Fawn boss, but you always get the Milk of Kindness. So if you're feeling a little bit risky and you find a second The Chains, you could always go for it. Now, after that, we found some more double hallway battles. They didn't really have anything special either. Except for the fact that we got absolutely destroyed by crits. We had a couple afflictions, and we lost Minnie again. She's basically the new Miss Applebottom. If you're a longtime viewer, you remember Miss Applebottom, or Appleton, who was also very, very cursed in a very similar way. But, we finish the dungeon, and once we get to town, we get someone revived, though none of the characters were the amazing ones that we've lost, so we just took the highest level. And for the second dungeon, we're going to do something a little bit more dangerous. The Onabushi with the legendary Bracer, Crescendo Box, Summer Haze, Pale Evenings, Morning, and Mirror Moon. Mr. Shadow, the Shadow Dancer with Dismiss's Head, Hanzo's Head, Vanish, Dirty Tricks, Venom Fang, and Focus. Gegijanko with Oceanic Lament, Chant of Returning by Varied Past, Wish of Burial Beyond the Light, and the tide surges, the tide recedes. With Whisk and the Strange Steel Plate, Hanzo Hisashi, one of our most recent revives, with the Watermelon and the Lower Boundary Military Order, and all of his abilities. So, we are going to take on the Swine King, because we need the blueprint, we need the levels, and it'll be a decent enough reward. Alright, here we go. So, I'm not too terribly worried about this fight. I'm pretty sure it should be fine. I'm gonna go for chanting just because I don't want anybody to die, and if she is taking increased damage, it should be a squeal! Then it should be fine. Now then, it's time to shift our spirit. We're gonna go for the Divine Haymaker! It did a little bit of damage. And this one! Obviously that is going to do basically 0 damage. Yeah. Ooh, and we can vanish? Don't mind if I do get an absolutely free buff. I'm just gonna debuff him for now, because we can move back. Obliterate body. That's not the right target. I don't know how to play the Corrupting Heart. All I really do is just spam her one move that she can use, and then pass, like, every single turn. It's not the most effective way to play her. Now, I'm pretty sure we are going to be able to do this fight relatively fine. We're going to go for a stun, mainly just to move forward. And then we're going to shift our spirit and move back with the Righteous Fist. Excellent. Wild Flailing? Meh. Heh, that did basically no damage at all. A little bit of a heal. Maybe we can use... No, we cannot. I want to use this, but it's on the 4th turn. So we can use it next turn. It's a better squeal. Stun. Had a feeling. Oh well. It's not the worst thing in the world. And this one! But, you know, it can be a little bit unfortunate. More Blight? Don't mind if I do. 16 Blight. And then we're gonna go for Morning. A little bit of a bleed. Excellent. Obliterate body. Ooh! Now, there goes about half our health. However, we got a really good riposte hit on him. So, still could have been worse. I'm gonna wait. I don't want to use the ability that hurts her, because not only will it hurt her, it'll hurt Wilbur. And even though it's true damage, I don't know if that counts. Well, he's a little weaker for when we need him to be. I'm gonna go for one of these, just to top ourselves up just a little bit. Just a teeny tiny bit. Defensive Palm. Okay, we get a little bit of a crit heal, little bit of a stress heal. Everybody gets healed. He takes 17 damage. Obliterate body. Good thing that wasn't a crit. That could have been very, very bad. Ah, topped off. Still can't use this. So now we'll just go for it. Everybody takes a little bit of damage. So does she. I believe she's going to take more next turn. Issue better squeal. Aha. You cannot stun us. Now, it's time for the Divine Haymaker! Alright, he's dead. Excellent! And this one! Oh, it's a good thing he's dead. Let's stress heal a bit. Oh yeah, you love to see it. And Mirror Moon.
nice. How many rats will it take?
Blueprint, absolutely. We'll light one of those. I actually want to take this because we can sell it instead of that. Yeah. We're done. $9K gold and a couple level 4s. Automatophobia. Soft. Warren Scrounger. Eagle Eye. Alright, we did end up getting Gregory Adalis thanks to the heir's ritual resurrection. But unfortunately, that is all of our resurrections now, so we cannot bring anybody back past this point. Unless we get really lucky with, you know, certain events. I don't think we have the Butcher Bird anymore, so we'll take that. Alright. We're on our road to adventure. Now, there's still some leveling up we can do, so I think we could probably squeak in a little more. This episode's pretty short. Man, we're looking good, though. All of our characters that are below level 4 can now be fit onto a single page. That is so nice. Alrighty. Wukong, the Monkey King with the Monkey King's hat, the Fasting Seal, Subdue Demons, 0072 Chance, Rescue Hare, Granny, the Butcher Bird with the Play of the World of the Mortals, Damien's Head, we need to change her abilities, Basting, Overcasting, Rectify, and Skewer. Brian, the Shinobi with the Thunderblade, the Storm Cloak, Binding Jutsu, Shuriken Toss, Coup de Grace, and the Shadow Cloak. And Kagero, the Assault Konoichi with the Watermelon, the Lower Boundary Military Order, and all of her abilities. And we are also back in the Warrens because we need to go for the grain sacks because I want to get the bump crop thing before we run out of time, because ideally I want to save as much... Ooh, completely lost my steam. I want to save as much money as we possibly can on gold, because if we do not have to purchase any food, then we are not going to have to worry about buying any food, which means we're going to be able to save a bit of gold, which means we're also going to be able to save up a bit more gold, thankfully, to our bank, which is going to allow us to gain a little bit of interest from all that gold that we would have saved from that food. Bloodsuckers. And that, as they say, is that. Wow, this was short and sweet. Ba-dum, ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum. We got about 4K gold, and Lazy Eye, that's not the worst. Spider Hater, okay. Stress Eater kind of sucks. Unholy Hater also isn't the worst. Alrighty, I believe that is going to do it for this episode of the Sunward Isles. I know it's kind of an all-over-the-place episode, not the usual episode in terms of length, but overall, I think we got a really, really good amount of progress. A lot of people are level 4, and some of them are just about level 5. So all in all, we finally have caught up with levels. We have a good amount of gold, a really good amount of heirlooms, so we have finally managed to catch up to where we should have been a few episodes ago, had a certain Shadow not kept messing up with greedy place. But alas, we have made it there now, so I think in the next episode we are finally gonna go back to the Sunward Isles. We are going to go after the Vengeful Spirit. And then we're just going to see what we can do past that point. Infestation is still relatively low. We still need to deal with the Viscount. There is also the Yama. So we have a couple things we need to do. When a majority of the roster is level 5, we'll start doing Nightmare. I think that's what I want to do, because at this point we're pretty geared up. We're not looking so bad anymore, but there is still like that teeny tiny bit of just final preparation that we still need to go through before we can actually start with the big stuff. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with the amount of progress that we got. I know it's kind of an all over the place episode, but hopefully that is okay. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.